What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka who fucking putting a damn fucking trash can in weird obscure places. Let me be inconvenient. AKA who keep putting the butter on the damn fucking toast pan. AKA the undisputed, uncontested social distancing champion, aka the Komaki Tiger Dropper, aka somebody gonna need to move. Somebody gonna need to move. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, episode 118 to be exact. For those that may not know, Switches Sites podcast is a podcast where I talk about gaming, and that's pretty much it, really. Yeah. Today's date, August 26th, 2021. Happy, almost No More Heroes 3 Eve. Let me give you a little bit. I gotta do the auto tune. No more heroes, is kill or be killed. No more heroes. Alright, let me stop. For those that don't know, if you've been under a rock, I just had a moment. Not Twitch, but No More Heroes is dropping tonight, midnight or 9 p.m. if you're on the Pacific time. One of the best slash 'em ups, beat 'em ups, at least series if you're not hip or if you're not into that thing. I mean, I understand, but I'm at least try to promote that pseudo agenda. Yeah. Outside of that, let's some quick commentary in terms of like people busting their ass on damn on these damn crates. Somebody gonna need to stop. All right. And I am ashamed that it is this seemed to have from what I've witnessed seemed to have started from black people. I mean, I'm kind of ashamed. I mean, if we gonna be 100% honest, this generally sounds like something that would have been started from white people. I'm just saying, in terms of the recklessness and lack of regard for your own safety and well-being. This is some jackass type stuff that people doing. But you know what? Hey, if you want to bust your ass on some milk crates, by all means, hey, do you? Not me though. Not me though. Couldn't be me though. But yeah. So, what else? At least non-gamer related to kind of kick some stuff off. I feel like something crazy happened that I cannot recall. Damn it. I mean, I guess the milk crates. I think that was the biggest thing, at least notably. That like, come on, people, what is our obsession with starting these challenges that are potentially seriously will hurt ourselves? But at least that's what's come to mind so far. So, yeah, at least gaming wise, of course, Gamescom popped off this week. This is probably the majority of this podcast we'll be talking about. That's mainly the biggest thing that at least I can recall. But yeah, without further ado, let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. Let me gotta get my time codes. 05 18. Yeah, so starting it off, kicking it off, Gamescom 2021. Well, I guess there technically was, it kind of technically kicked off with Xboxes, but it wasn't necessarily anything notable, more or less, from Xbox's event. I think they showed like Forza and some games we already knew about. I think maybe Dying Light 2. They gave us like, I think, a new trailer and a little bit of gameplay, I want to say, but at least personally, nothing that stood out or at least directly caught my attention. I think some games pass game announcements that are, generally on the indie side, but nothing that I can at least remember that caught my eye, more or less. But at least for Gamescom, they had some pretty decent announcements. Some stuff that I think where it was rumored to start at during the Game Awards, or that was supposed to premiere at the Game Awards but did not, and I guess eventually showed up here. So let's start that off specifically. So that would be, let's see, because it's a lot. Yeah, starting off, this was rumored. Well, I think it started as being rumored, then actually got announced or pre-announced before it was officially announced, or hinted at, I guess. But Saints Row was announced, and we finally saw the trailer in terms of like the art direction, at least what they seem to be going for. And additionally, a little like a snippet of gameplay, which was like maybe 10 seconds, but was pretty dope, at least what they're going with. So you can create your own character still, so that was the biggest thing for me, because I mean, it's like, it's not a Saints Row game if you can't create your own character. Oh yeah, the voice options. You can upgrade any vehicle off road. So if you want to take a garbage truck to the desert and spin donuts, knock your ass out. The location seems to take place in like either like a mix between the desert and Mexico. It feels like, at least the vibe. At least they call it specifically Santo Ileso, a vibrant, functional city in the heart of the American Southwest, in a world rife with crime. Rife with crime, where lawless factions fight for power. A group of young friends embark on their own criminal adventure. That sounds a little too upbeat. I think the embark is, I don't know about that. As they rise to the top in their bid to become self-made. But wouldn't it be like selves-made if it's multiple? Never mind. Let's not get into semantics. Yeah, so fairly similar to the previous Saints Row games, at least so far. Gunplay is said to be more precise, but with an arcade feel. So it's still Saints Row, but they spend a lot of time refining the combat to make it feel really good. That's pretty good. So I think that's the one thing. I think Saints Row had the edge over with Grand Theft Auto. There will be XP and leveling to unlock skills along with perks though it isn't based on what Volition's done with previous games. There's a new twist in how they are handling it, said to have a lot of depth. They added more options and choices when players are in fights. So yeah, that was my biggest, I guess, desire with this reboot, is that they still, like, I don't know, cater to that niche of kind of being similar to Grand Theft Auto, but being its own thing. Where I feel like Saints Row is kind of the modern day Grand Theft Auto, if Grand Theft Auto stuck with its kind of vibe from like the PS2 era of games like GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, um, where it felt more unrealistic, I guess. If that makes it felt more abstract than like realistic, like GTA 4 and 5. So I think as long as they stick with that kind of angle to kind of separate themselves from Grand Theft Auto, the juggernaut that is, I think they'll definitely do fine. I am a fan of the art style. It does look, it kind of looks, it is veers a little bit more on the realistic side, where it isn't as like, cartoony as like the previous Saints Row games, which I think it could potentially work. I guess it's just hard to fathom seeing it in action and seeing all that gel together well. But I mean, I think only time will tell to see if that actually comes to fruition. At least weapon wise, Volition promises that it's still planning to introduce some ridiculous, ridiculous over the top weaponry, as is the series' trademark by this point. Shoot revolvers from the hip, fire and forget with a rocket launcher, obliterate up close using melee heavyweights, complete with brutal takedowns, a vast variety of familiar and exotic weapons, all customizable. Yeah, we talked about the world a bit. Apparently, the Saint Ileso is the biggest and best Saints Row playground ever, spread across 9 unique districts surrounded by the vast, majestic beauty of the Southwest Desert. El Dorado looks like a low rent Vegas, rundown buildings. You can call reinforcements. I know in the trailer they showed like the gangs. Gangs are back. I'm assuming some may be coming. Well, I guess because it's a reboot, they probably might bring some of those gangs back, but put a new spin on it. If I would guess, fast travel. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think this was a big one too. You can buy properties and kind of like Grand Theft Auto. Well, at least the previous ones. Yeah, players will be able to buy real estate properties, use them for various criminal enterprises. One of the examples including starting a drug running business using fast food meat trucks as cover. Yeah, that's straight up bacon bad. Bacon bad. Ooh, somebody needs to make that happen. Breaking Bad. So, bases. Yeah. So sweet. Co-op. Oh yeah, that's a big one too. They did confirm that the entire campaign will be playable in co-op. So you can literally play the whole story campaign with a buddy in co-op. I'm digging that. Every mission in the game is a co-op mission. And oh yeah, I don't think I caught this. It also includes co-op play across console generations as well. I'm not sure if it's supports crossplay, but at least cross generation. So Xbox One can play with Xbox Series X, vice versa. Well, obviously vice versa because both. Insurance fraud. So some of the mini games are going to be coming back. At least that insurance fraud was pretty fun. It's fun as hell. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm assuming some of the other ones There was insurance fraud. Then what else was a really good one? I'm trying to recall. Damn. Let me look real quick. Let's see. Mini games or diversions, activities. Demolition derby earned by crashing, destroying cars, drug trafficking. While they drove around to make deals. Escort was basically taxi, but with prostitutes. Mayhem was fun. Basically felt kind of like Burnout, but you're on foot and then you can like cause havoc like with grenades and Molotovs and stuff like that. That was a really good one. Snatches, technically Crazy Taxi, but I think you're taking prostitutes from rival pimps. Man, yeah, Saints Row was wild, but it wasn't. It was wild. I'm trying to defend it, but Saints Row is pretty wild. Yeah, I really like Mayhem and Insurance Fraud were for sure my favorites, at least from going by the original one. So pretty cool. And I think in addition as well, that also separates it from Grand Theft Auto having its own spin on stuff. Even though I think Grand Theft Auto technically kind of had its, at least the older games. Well, 5 kind of had some of that. Like I think they called it Rampage, where it was kind of similar, where you just go crazy, go crazy, go stupid, you know. So yeah, I'm digging it. I kind of hope that multiplayer. I hope that multiplayer. Well, I hope they do kind of have they bring multiplayer back, but I don't think they will. I think it wasn't. It was very niche. I don't think it would generally appeal to everybody, but I personally would like to see it come back. That would be, I had a lot of fun moments with the multiplayer. But I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm not getting the hopes up, but it would be cool. I mean, Volition, if you listening, because I know you are. It wouldn't hurt if you did it though. I'm just saying. So, all in all, oh yeah, and it's coming out February 22nd, 2022. So, yeah. 2022 the first half is looking real stuffed. That's all I'm gonna say. Looking real meaty. Yeah. So moving on, also from that, they did finally reveal at least what was before the heavily rumored Marvel XCOM game, which is being made by the same people that developed XCOM. And finally we got that, which is called Midnight Suns, or Marvel Midnight Suns, where I think it's taken some slight inspiration from a particular comic, but in addition is putting its own spin on it, I believe. Yeah, when hell awakens, only they can stop it. Rise up and join a darker order of heroes to defeat Lilith before the Darkhold is complete in this tactical RPG set in the darker side of the Marvel universe. So at least what they're propping I would assume is kind of like the, I don't know, what would you call it? The advertising cast, whatever. You got Wolverine, you got Iron Man, you got this new girl. I forgot her name, but I mean, she got to prove herself anyway. And you got Blade, who's pretty dope. You don't see Blade as the top, like, I don't know. You don't see him in the cover arts. You don't see him on the ads or anything like that. So, you got what's Ghost Rider, of course. He looks drastically different in design from his general like template of designs. So yeah, pretty dope. Pretty dope. I'm digging it. I am digging it. So yeah. Looks pretty dope. I mean, I don't think we have not got any gameplay. They didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't really show anything, but I think it was all just CG. But all in all, I'm definitely looking forward to it. PS4, 5, Xbox One, Series X, Nintendo Switch, Steam, all drop in September 1st. So, yeah. Oh yeah, they did have Captain America. Is there any? No, that's pretty much it. So, well, yeah, I guess it is its original thing. It seems like, as somebody who's not fully versed in the comic universe, quote unquote, there will be a total of 13 allied heroes in all, drawn from the Avengers, X-Men, Runaways, and beyond. So maybe it's this own unique original thing. So, but I'm interested as somebody who dabbles in tactical games. It's definitely piques my interest as recently my soft spot has been like Marvel and superhero related stuff as of late. So my interest is piqued. Interest is piqued. Then after that, they dropped a trailer. Dropped a trailer for what is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. So I was anticipating a shadow drop. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but you know, I think it actually is delayed. I don't think we got actually a concrete date regardless, but if anything, maybe they promised it will be out in 2021, but then they at least announced that it's going to be coming in 2022. But either way, it is now coming out in 2022. So they showed a dope ass trailer, which was pretty damn awesome. I'm looking re-watching it now. So the biggest thing they announced a new character, April O'Neil. April O'Neil. All right, you've been wanting to play her. You've been needing it. You've been wanting it. You've been fiending for it. Well, now you're gonna get it. Now you're gonna get it. Your prayers have been answered. So yeah, man. I guess I've not really seen too much of the gameplay, but I don't think they've necessarily shown too much. But this is looking literally like Streets of Rage, but with Ninja Turtle spin on it. But you know, of course, having its own unique take on kind of that formula. Just I'm gonna say this again. .emu is doing God's work right now. You know, they are like reviving all these dormant franchises. I think this is definitely shaping up to be a dope ass, really dope, new addition to the, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, I guess, game line, franchise. I'm looking forward to it. And we need to take a moment to marvel at April O'Neil. Her combo's looking pretty damn dope. She incorporating every form of every form of AV equipment known to man. She got it in her repertoire. Don't you worry. Yeah. And then I mean, probably the best thing about this trailer, I guess, apparently, her combos. I'm not sure how it works. I don't think we've seen like actual gameplay, but literally in her combo, she can end her combo by doing it seems like it's copy from Obama's like a famous mic drop where she's kissing and then dropping up the mic, which is that's whoever made that decision. You guys, you deserve everything in the world, because that is the best. It's like that alone. It's like, you know what? I need to mess with some April O'Neil. I mean, move over Leonardo. Move over Leonardo. I don't. April O'Neil looking pretty enticing, I have to say. So yeah. So this definitely got me even more hyped for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. But I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm like, if April O'Neil's in the mix, I mean, where's Casey Jones? You can't have April O'Neil in the mix without Casey Jones. Like that's having peanut butter with no jelly, you know? I mean, come on now. So I assume that's gonna happen at some point, but yeah, I am very, very looking forward to this when it comes out next year. So whew. April, she does a mic drop. That is so. She dropped a mic and killed the dude. I guess they're robots. I'm assuming that's their excuse for it. Since I believe the Ninja Turtles IP or licensing, whatever, is owned by Nickelodeon, or I'm assuming they bought it. So yeah, Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. Fuck. Yeah, so after that, or at least I'm probably skipping over some stuff at least that wasn't necessarily notable, but or caught my eye specifically, but Halo came out, which is weird. I guess the weirdest part was because Halo or Xbox had their own Gamescom kind of thing, and then but it didn't. It was I don't even know how to describe it. It like didn't even. It wasn't as it. I guess it wasn't really worthwhile to watch, at least after the fact. I mean, it was some tidbits, but I mean the expectations were tempered. I believe Aaron Greenberg, who's like the head in terms of the games division, I want to say, tempered the expectations. But I mean, still, it was weird. I think they talked about Halo, or is that where they announced? I think that's where they announced that Halo will not have co-op and will not have a co-op campaign co-op campaign at launch, which is, at least for me personally, it wasn't a huge deal. I generally have not really played any of the Halos specifically in co-op initially. Maybe there would be times where I would play with people like in between, but I think ultimately I would just play it by myself. And then if I'm like, if I was in my achievement hunting mode, at least I remember with Halo 3, but outside of that, generally would not need to or be a big deal for me personally, but totally understand for people that's their tradition. I mean, Halo 2 did have some pretty dope co-op. One, the original, of course, and then everyone going forward after that. So that is a bit of a bummer. I totally understand that. But I think at some point you just have to make a decision, considering the rocky road that is Halo, especially. Which is crazy that this game was supposed to come out last year, around presumably November. Phew, that was good. They definitely made that last minute decision. But and in addition to that, the Forge as well, which is the kind of the sandbox mode where you can create maps and share and stuff like that. That will be delayed as well, which is totally understandable. At least as somebody who's not obsessive about that aspect. I know there are people that are, but it seems like of the things that you can prioritize, it seems to make sense in terms of knocking that down in the priority list. So yeah. So they announced that, along with talking about some of the multiplayer and like the feedback regarding the technical test that we talked about way back, and I thankfully got to participate in. So it seems like, yeah, they got a lot of information, got a lot of data and feedback to kind of make the game better, which is, hey, that's all. That's what that's what it's all about, right? It's all what it's all about. Yeah. So then at Gamescom opening night live, Jeff Keighley's event, then they came there and then announced that Halo Infinite will be releasing on December 8th, which is that's a little I'll guess brave in terms of like, releasing that late. You're also missing like Thanksgiving. Yeah, you're missing a lot there. And then on top of that, like Game of the Year awards, I think it's definitely past the general cutoff point for most awards there. Yeah, it's a lot that's being sacrificing to just release it just right before the end of the year. But I mean, it definitely, considering the rocky history of this game, it seems like they need as much time as they can. So, but yeah, at least now it seems like they're going with a seasonal kind of structure in terms of like releasing content. On with season wise is generally a 3-month period. At least as far as like, similar games like Gears 5 is concerned, even though technically Gears 5 released fully with, multiplayer and campaign that, you could play multiple components. But I mean, for Halo, considering the rocky history, it seems like that it makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, hey, I'm gonna start the Spartan journey on December 8th. So it's cool. Also, they dropped the elite controller version, Halo Elite limited edition. I gotta do it. Limited edition. you gotta put some sexiness into it. Limited edition Elite controller series 2. A little bit of a bummer because it's still the series 2, and on top of that, it doesn't have like literally any features of the new Xbox Series X controllers, which is at least the biggest one is the dedicated share button, which this doesn't have, which is a bit of a letdown. Like you'd think it would be the Series 3 at this point, which I'm pretty sure is at least in the pipeline, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe there might be some hidden feature that maybe lets you do it, but I mean, it's not a deal like horrible. I mean, obviously you could just, if you don't have a Series X controller, you can, just hit the guide button and then, share, record that way. But just a bit of a disappointment, all things considered in that point. But hopefully it isn't as horrible in terms of manufacturing, in terms of like, the very troubled I guess quality concerns for these controllers, if going by past episodes where we talked about that, but we shall see. But on top of that, they also announced the Halo Infinite limited edition. Limited edition. 20 I guess they say it's 20th, celebrating 20 years of Halo / Xbox. Totally makes sense to do it, but Halo Infinite limited edition Xbox Series X console. I the more I look at it, the more I'm like indecisive, I guess. It's like, it looks to emulate Master Chief's visor alongside the constellation of like, the sky. I mean, the top looks cool. It's like blue instead of the green, and Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm on the fence. But I mean, good luck getting one anyway, regardless. Since you thought like getting a Series X is tough. I mean, you factor this into it as well. It's like, good luck. Scalpers about to have yet another field day. Well, I think they technically went live yesterday. At least some. I know there's some other retailers that are trickling it out as well. So, but all in all, hey, I mean, we at least getting the campaign as well as the multiplayer. I mean, those are generally, when you think about Halo, more or less the fundamentals. I'd say maybe more multiplayer than campaign, and depending on the game, but at least if anything, multiplayer is always there. I mean, if they needed to, I feel like they should just, delay the campaign if they need to. But I mean, I think either way, they have to get this game out regardless. So I think this is probably the best median they could come to. Just have the seasonal content, release all of the other promised stuff, down the road. So cool. Then Horizon Forbidden West, they came out with the news that unfortunately they have to delay the game to next year, even though, well, it was technically rumored, like I think we talked about on a previous episode, but at least now we did get confirmation that it is being delayed. But I don't think we got a definitive release date anyway, but at least it is gonna be delayed till February 18th, 2022. So yet again, first half of 2022 is looking real double stuffed, quadruple stuffed, quintuple stuffed. So yeah. So I mean, totally understandable. Take your time. I still got to play the first one, so take your time. Take as much time as you need. But on top of that, I think this kind of got released, or at least people caught on about it earlier. But they also announced that Horizon Zero Dawn, the first game, is gonna get a 60 FPS patch. 60 FPS. I'm gonna try to do that now. 60 FPS. So yeah, if you have the PlayStation 5 and the PS4, well, I guess there's no PS5 version, but if you play Horizon Zero Dawn on your PS5, you'll get that 60 FPS on your console. So I mean, what more do you want? So yeah, it's pretty dope. That's actually perfect for me as somebody who's not yet got my feet wet, put my toe in Horizon. So yeah, pretty. I love it. Everybody need to get some 60 FPS. You need it. You want it. Just get it. You need it. You want it. And just get it. So after that, well, I guess that's what was technically the end of the show. They capped it off with Death Stranding director's cut. They essentially showed somewhat more of an extended trailer, still a little bit vague in terms of explicitly what every new detail was, but I mean, yeah. So we knew about the racing mechanic that's in there. I don't think we knew that there was going to be more delivery options. I don't think we knew about I'm not sure if we knew about the cargo catapult. Maybe we did. I don't recall. But if regardless, there was I think we did not know about thrusters, which is like, it seems like just jetpacks, where if you get launched in the sky, you know, very high in a very far distance, I know generally that would cause damage if you manage to do that somehow, or there was some way to mitigate that, I want to say. But either way, there is more options to traverse the environment faster, which is definitely one of my gripes with the game. I mean, I definitely appreciated the environment, the world, the views and stuff, but outside of that, yeah, at times it's like, I mean, I know it's fun. I'm enjoying it, but I mean, I kind of want to shoot. I'm enjoying it, but I kind of want to shoot somebody though. As convict killers are after they convict killers after they get out of jail. I'm enjoying this, but I kind of want to shoot somebody. That is horrible. I think we saw the buddy bot in the previous trailer, but I think maybe they showed more features of the buddy bot. I think they showed that previously you're able to ride on it, but I think additionally you can put cargo and stuff on it as well, which I think maybe we didn't see them carrying Sam on it. So one of those, but maybe they just showed it in more detail and specifics. Firing range, so you can you know, practice and shoot and do train and stuff. It seems like I guess there's a new gun, a new maser gun that stuns enemies. It seemed like they had like what looked like VR mission emulation type missions, VR emulation missions type missions. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it, but I mean I did enjoy the first one, so I'm just out of pure I'm more, I guess, motivated by curiosity than like, you know, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna enjoy this. But boss battles you can revisit from the private room, which I thought you could do. Maybe, I guess it was only specifically the periodic moments with Mads Nicholson's character. I forgot his name, but I think there was those specific areas you can replay, but I guess you couldn't do the bosses. I thought you could, but I guess you couldn't. Apparently you could not. New online ranking system, I think specifically towards the fire range, with the leaderboards. And then I guess there's new action, quote unquote, action packed delivery missions, which I feel like that seemed like that came from Kojima saying like, oh, you guys are fucking, you guys, that's all you gamers only want one thing and it's disgusting, type deal. Like, here, here, damn, action packed missions, here, damn. It seems very similar. I mean, obviously, it's hard to like deny the similarities to Metal Gear Solid, but they're definitely there. There's a lot of sneaking stealth, and, you know, espionage to be had. So I'm curious how much that is. It's just, it feels like there's just a lot in the air right now that we don't know about, that I don't know, it's concerning. At least at first it seemed like, oh, this could potentially definitely change a lot, but I don't know, thinking about it more, it feels like this may potentially not substantially change my personal thoughts and sentiments with the game, but who knows? I'll more than likely give it another shot, just to just to feel something, you know. Partially, you know, want a new Metal Gear maybe is a underlying subconscious motivator as well, but we're not gonna talk about that, even though we did talk about that. Yeah. And that was pretty much it. But I forgot to mention, is it called? King of Fighters 15. They did this at the pre-show with Kyle Bossman. Dude is funny to me. I find him very hilarious, but he just comments on the real stuff that's like we're all thinking, which I appreciated his angle on the pre-show. Is like, hey, you really just are waiting to see the real show, aren't you? I mean, I know I am myself as well, so I appreciate that angle, just being honest. Honest, just shamefully unabashedly honest. But yeah, during that, which was a pretty big reveal, to be honest, King of Fighters 15, we actually saw the UI for the game, which is it's kind of surreal. We have not seen any menus or any interactions of the sort. Just literally like character trailers that every couple of weeks it felt like, but it was hard to keep up. It was like all these damn character trailers. Then there's team trailers on top of that. Personally, I know I missed some trailers, but Jesus. Then they did confirm, at least there's set to be 39 characters at launch. 3v3 team battle mode is confirmed, which I think that's generally, if I recall, that's generally somewhat of a staple for King of Fighters. What else? Oh yeah, DLC characters. There's going to be additional 6. It seems like they're going to be released in like team format. It seems like where they'll release the whole literal team, because I guess at least catching up on King of Fighters as not being a fan previously, but at least have been at least looking at it and researching it from afar. It seems like, I guess, they're canonically, at least in the story, it seems like each team is a thing, and there's like some story counterparts, I'm assuming, to some extent. So that seems to make the most sense to do it that way. But rollback netcode. You love to see it. Rollback netcode. Let's keep it going. So that was up in the air in terms of if that would be a thing, but yeah. But at the same time, I mean, I'd say hold your reservation still, because Harada of Tekken fame claim that they now have rollback netcode, but it's not rollback netcode. So we have to ultimately wait until the game comes out to fully see. But at least I myself, or at least as somebody who doesn't play fighting games too often, I definitely will at least support this game, to support the fighting games, even though as much as I don't play them, I do fairly enjoy from time to time to spectate and appreciate. So pretty cool. Yeah, it is a shame though. I know the 14 had 50 characters, but this is only going to have 39. I'm guessing the DLC will probably, put it back to at least 50. So King of Fighters, I'm trying to do the announcer's voice in the trailer. King of Fighters, shatter all expectations. Let's go. Shatter all expectations. I'm sorry. This is most having to move my lips and open my mouth at the same time to try to match that guy's enthusiasm. That's all you're gonna get from somebody as chill as me. All right. So, yeah. So yeah, pretty much that was all of Gamescom 2021, at least so far. At least as far as this recording. Sifu, forgot about Sifu. I'm looking forward to that. It didn't seem like they showed anything necessarily new, but there is that as well. Yeah, that's pretty much the highlights. At least the highlights. So cool. Next topic. This is It's a little weird. I'm not even gonna lie. A little weird. So, Fortnite, of course, the game that never stops hitting the headlines, news, has this new event called the MLK March Through Time event, apparently presented by Time magazine. Or I guess they're Time Studios now. That's weird. It seems like every game magazine publishing company is going to like a video form, which makes sense though. I mean, publishing is dying, I would assume, considering the digital landscape we're in now, especially COVID. But yeah, either way. Yeah, March Through Time is it's interesting, man. So apparently you basically, reenact, well, not necessarily reenact, but re how do I describe this? Um re I guess try to recapture the history of the Martin Luther King speech of the infamous "I Have a Dream" speech. Promoting and discussing racial inequality in general, to be honest, but and discrimination. But within the context, or in the context of Fortnite, which, I mean, this is not like necessarily the first we've seen. I mean, of course, we've had like the concerts and stuff, and Travis Scott, I think Ariana Grande and stuff like that. Having literal concerts and promotional stuff, like I think Avengers and like the Christopher Nolan movie. I forgot it. Tenet, I want to say. I think they premiered stuff there. So it's technically not the first scenario in terms of like non-Fortnite gaming content that's like shown within the game. But I don't know how I feel about this. It feels weird. That's probably the best way to describe it. Just, I guess, having something very serious and something very serious, heavy, in what feels like generally a light-hearted game for Fortnite, is a little weird. And then on top of that, of course, the promotion of promotion and education of racial inequality and stuff, which I don't know. I think it just depends on how it's being portrayed. At least from what I've seen about it, like your Fortnite character goes in the game and they watch the reenactment. Well, not the reenactment. They just watch the speech and kind of where it actually took place and stuff like that. I guess it's just weird if Martin Luther King is doing the speech, but you got people just dancing and doing the backpack kid dance and Carlton dance while the a serious ass heavy speech is going on. It's just, the more I think about it, it just does not. It just seems like there's a lot of potential to be exploited in one way or another, and generally the not best way. I mean that I guess that's yet to be seen, but or fully revealed. But I don't know. It feels like this would hurt. It would. It feels like it would do the opposite of its intentions than do what actually it's intending to do, if that makes sense. That I don't know, man. It just does. The intentions seem pure. They definitely seem pure. Educate the younger demographic that's generally the foundation of Fortnite, and educate them on stuff that, to be honest, probably, well, I guess Martin Luther King is generally a pretty big pillar that's covered in history, but A lot of other stuff they don't mention, at least after the fact. So I don't know, man. It depends on how it comes out, but I don't know. I'm curious to check it out myself to get an idea of it. But they I think they said some of the emotes are turned off, but I think there's ways around it. Um, yeah, man. I don't know, man. It just seems like it has potential to do more harm than good. If that makes sense. I understand that the intentions are pure, but I mean, it does not feel like it will be utilized that way. So, but shouts out to the people that did it. It was built by members Chase Jackman, GQano XDFR, and U7 ya. uh, um, so yeah, they basically created this, and I know, I mean, it's definitely been, it's at least confirmed to be done by black people. So I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It just I guess just the context. I guess, I mean, yeah, it, thankfully it's not as like, cut and dry, I guess, but like, it would have been a little too weird if, you got Martin Luther King, Fortnite character. Hey, get a Martin Luther King character if you watch this, and whew, that just feels like fuel for a lot of just weirdness. I'll say that much. Um, yeah, I appreciate the effort, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll ultimately have to see what the result of this will be, basically. But yeah, so um, with all that being said, that concludes the news for this week. Um, let's get into what I've been playing. Which actually been playing like it's nothing new, but like it's anything new, but have been playing a fair amount of stuff. Streets of Rage, of course, been playing, slowly chipping that way of getting achievements and earning all those. What else? Windjammers 2, the beta ended over last weekend, but got a couple more matches in. My emotions have been humbled, or my confidence has been humbled. At the same time, I mean, it's not a lot of people playing it, but so of course you're gonna get like the super elite players and get my ass whooped. But I've been losing, but I've been having fun, and I'm understanding why I lost, which is, I think that's the biggest issue I've generally had with like fiercely competitive one-on-one games. But probably the biggest thing I did play was Avengers. I played all the DLC. I caught up. I have not played. I was pretty much turned off after completing the campaign. The campaign was pretty good. I did like it, but outside of that, which the game is set to want you to play the multiplayer afterward, which I was like, I'm all right. Nothing doesn't feel really worthwhile to me, and especially all the stuff they had coming out, where it's like very it felt very it's not necessarily pay to win, just not respectful of your time. It seemed like, at least at the time, before like it came on PS5 and stuff, and they dropped the update. But yeah, with the Wakanda DLC that dropped, I think last week technically, I was like, you know what? All right, let me and the PS5 upgrade, next gen upgrades. I was like, let me give Avengers another shot, see how it is. So I played the first DLC. I forgot what it's called, but it's the Kate Bishop DLC. I know that's not the actual official name, but I think it's essentially what it is, and it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't nothing to brag about. Nothing like, oh my god, this is the best DLC ever. It felt very. It felt very. I hate to say DLC, but DLC ish. Where what I mean by that is the DLC feels very very recycled. Like they use a lot of assets that have been recycled from the main game, if that makes sense. It just felt too uninspired. It felt like that, like, oh yeah, not really. But basically, it led up to an event where it leads into the next DLC. But I guess before we get into that, I mean, Kate Bishop as a character, she's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, from a gameplay standpoint, she's pretty dope. She seems to have some exclusive technology. She, I guess, formerly, was Hawkeye, but she has a sword, which, I guess to make her not as sucky, because she just would have just a bow and, a prayer, it feels like. But they did some things to make her a bit more interesting than at least I was anticipating. So that was cool. Then it went to the game, the quote unquote story goes into the next DLC, which is, I think, Future Imperfect, where basically it feels like a, I don't even know how to describe it, like a time, kind of like a multiverse, kind of, where you look into the future of what will happen. So at least the DLC starts out with the older Hawkeye, and then you see that, and then you go back in present time, and then there's this whole time thing about you must change the present before the past is what it's destined to be, type thing. And it felt very anticlimactic toward the end. It was like, yeah, because I mean, so yeah, I guess spoilers for the Marvel DLC. I mean, to be honest, I don't think you missing much. You're not missing much. But at least towards the end, you fight a Hulk. But this Hulk is different. I guess his name is Maelstrom or something like that. And he's basically Hulk but intelligent or something like that. Kind of similar to the at least Avengers Endgame, at least my reference. But yeah, but then it's like you're reusing the Hulk. So it is, I mean, it's again the same issue with the first DLC, which is, it's like it just feels a little too recycled for me to be like substantial, worthwhile DLC to play, where it just, it just felt very uninspired. That's probably the best way to describe it. Just generic, uninspired, which is no, the main campaign is really good and the gameplay is pretty decent too. But yeah, man, it was not a fan. Did not like it too much. And then yeah, so you beat Hulk, Maelstrom or whatever, and then basically after that, there really didn't feel like a worthwhile payoff. You just see what's gonna happen, and you find Nick Fury. That felt like a thing, but Nick Fury's frozen in time, and that's it. And then basically, you after you see this, you're like, oh man, I guess we need to change the world then. That's it. And that's it. Roll credits. I'm like, so, there's that. Then there's a whole issue specifically with why would you have two Hawkeyes that, I mean, of course, if you look deeper, they definitely are different in their own ways, but essentially they feel very similar. They feel pretty damn similar in terms of the, I guess, general concept or loop of like, combat and stuff. I mean, there's some differences, of course, like male Hawkeye can heal. He has a heal perk. The female counterpart can't, Kate Bishop, but it was not enough for me personally. They felt too similar But then on top of that, why would you have them as DLC separately? If anything, like, put them together as one DLC and then have another as a wholly new character. Which, yeah, overall, bit of a letdown. Bit of a letdown for both of those two DLCs. There was like a couple new enemies here and there, but nothing like that had me like, oh man, this is pretty good. So I say that with now the latest DLC that came out, the Black Panther War for Wakanda, I believe, DLC, and that one is like way substantially better. You get Black Panther, King T'Challa. They give you a very substantial backstory of kind of like like what happened during the what was Wakanda going through during the events of the main game of the Avengers game. And yeah, overall it was, I'd say generally is very good. After playing with Black Panther for a while and getting a feel for his mechanics, felt very fun to play. Really like his dynamics and all his move sets and stuff. He felt really good. The voice actor for him is of course Kratos from God of War. He felt very good, very authentic. I really liked it. I really dug his performance as King T'Challa. Again, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman. But yeah, I think they did this DLC did it justice. You have a new Wakanda hub, so pretty much it seems like every area locale has its own dedicated hub. You do have the Wakanda hub now with the DLC and some of the missions and all that. But yeah, very faithful to at least my experience with Black Panther. Very impressed. You get the payoff of the villain. You fight Thaddeus Claw, I believe. And Thaddeus being Thaddeus, trying to steal vibranium from Wakanda. And conflict ensues. No, you will not get the I don't know. This is my attempt at an accent. You will not get our vibranium. You will not get it. The power of the Black Panther will be stripped away. I'm sorry. So yeah, overall I thoroughly enjoyed it. But don't want to spoil anything because I think that is the substantial DLC you want to play. Honestly, I'd say skip the first two and play the Black Panther Wakanda War for Wakanda if you are interested in the Avengers game. So after that, yeah, I tried to match and play a little bit of multiplayer, but like I could not match with anybody. So admittedly, I was playing at a very irregular time, so potentially could have been a factor. But I mean, I think it was like Saturday at 2 in the morning, but I thought people would play then, but maybe not. So yeah, all in all, yeah, I definitely recommend the War for Wakanda DLC if you have the Avengers game and you liked the base story campaign for the Avengers. I do recommend it. I think it's very worthwhile, very authentic to the Black Panther as a character. I think they did him justice in his first, I guess, technical, like, quote unquote solo game debut. As a game character, I was very satisfied. So, yeah. Then after that, played Ghosts of Tsushima. Ghosts of Tsushima. Ghosts of Tsushima. I don't know why I'm doing an African accent, but Ghost of Tsushima DLC. Called Island. Well, I think it's Iki Island. At least that's the new. So basically, there's the new version of Ghost of Tsushima came out called the Director's Cut. With the Director's Cut, I think we briefly maybe talked about it. You get actually a fully lip synced Japanese voice track So now, at least the issue with the base game of Ghost of Tsushima is that um, if you wanted to play the game in Japanese, in terms of language and Japanese with subtitles, the lips were not synced. It seems like it was just they were speaking English, but then it was just the Japanese track voice records, with it, where overall it was not the lips weren't synced with the Japanese voices. So at least now with this director's cut, they did add that, which I have not tried, but I'm at least gonna save it for when I maybe potentially do just a new game plus, since there's some achievements and stuff tied to it. But at least, yeah, that's one of the, I guess, notable new additions, as well as of course the upgrades to the PS5's hardware in terms of 60 FPS, which I think there technically was a PS4 patch, which you could technically do if you don't care for the DLC. But yeah, but definitely the biggest attraction for this director's cut is the new Iki Island DLC, which basically adds a whole new area, island you play on, and new missions, quests, and collectibles and stuff, all of the like, on that new island, which I think definitely makes this worthwhile. So you have that, as well as I guess what else I'm trying to think of. No, I guess that's pretty much it. But there's a lot of stuff that is added on top of that, in general. So, yeah, it definitely makes it worthwhile. I fully beat it, completed it, completed everything, got all the collectibles. It was very much worthwhile. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good, really good. I had a great time with it. Yeah, I think it perfectly complements the main story of the game, which I think that's somewhat very rare and hard to do in a lot of scenarios with DLC that, like, comes after the fact of the main game. But I think it does. They might have had this in the roadmap, because I think it does it perfectly in terms of, at least to briefly touch on a bit of the story. What it talks about is that it talks about the story of, or it explores more on the story of Jin's father, and his guilt of, not a huge spoiler of the story, but Jin's guilt of not helping his father and letting him die on the island that he's on, where he actually died. And there's a lot of story elements that come to play with that. So yeah, all in all, pretty great. I definitely recommend it. If you have played the main story and are interested in the DLC, or have already completed the game and looking to dip back in, I think this is definitely a perfect entry point for you. All in all, after doing everything, it felt like 10 to 15 hours if you do all the extra stuff like collectibles and stuff. But which, again, I will always appreciate for Ghost of Tsushima, is that they respect your time in terms of not making you do just straight up meaningless, arbitrary stuff just to do it, if that makes sense, where it felt like each component felt substantial and thought out, and not just, hey, we're just gonna artificially bloat this game just to do it, So yeah. After that, also played the Tales of Arise demo. That was pretty dope. I definitely enjoyed that. I have to say one thing about that game, and it is crazy, but that game looks beautiful as hell, man. The art style of this game looks really damn good. It is. I could not get over how good the game looks from an artistic standpoint. It feels like a weird, very like seamless blend between cell shading and slight 3D, but more on the. Well, I mean, it's definitely 3D, but it feels like it meets this perfect sweet spot between the two. Which yeah, I'm just really liking. I'm really digging a lot. So, it's really good. It's really good. From what I played, I guess it kind of close, at least for my frame of reference, it seemed to be as close to Final Fantasy VII Remake with like real time combat, but there are some aspects that are kind of turn based in terms of certain aspects, or you can ultimately, I think you can do in the same essence as Final Fantasy VII Remake. You can like have it where it's turn based, manually if you want to do it that way, where the characters will interact in a way of being turn based, and you don't have to play it in real time, which I think is cool just to have the option. Yeah, I guess one gripe in terms of at least me playing the game on a real time action based format is it's I wish you could swap characters on the fly. Either that, or I maybe possibly didn't figure that out yet. But you have to pause the game kind of in like a sub menu while you're in combat, and then swap your character and then come back. I wish there was some cool way to like seamlessly swap between characters, similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake, where you can like swap characters on the fly. But I don't know, maybe that potentially would make the game. I don't think that would necessarily make it easier necessarily. Um, yeah. Either I didn't see it. It seemed like it makes sense, at least from what the combat felt like. It felt like you could just seamlessly swap between people, do some crazy stuff with combos and stuff. And there is a combo system where it definitely seems to suggest a more arcadey combat system that maybe you can like juggle a character and have somebody else chip in and start juggling them as well, or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. It definitely I'm definitely interested. I think I'm definitely going to give it a shot. As somebody who's not played the previous Tales games, from what I've briefly researched, it seems to be like a huge ass lineage of Tales of games, that are of varying quality here and there, depending. But I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely more than likely probably going to check it out at some point. They had some pretty dope characters. There's like of course, a sword guy, boxing type dude that uses his fist. Of course, I picked him first. Kind of a knight woman that has like a big ass shield and I think a lance, if I recall. A magic woman. It's a girl. It's a girl with a gun. She's just shooting from a distance. So it's definitely a varied like range of characters to kind of mess with. And then each characters have like, it's weird. So you control one character, and then the other characters that you're not controlling, you can have them chip in to do like assist attacks. It feels like closest to like Marvel versus Capcom in a sense, where you can, hey, and then they just jump in of whatever they're doing and jump in and like attack characters or whatever character you're fighting. And then there's some, I forgot what it's called. It's like, I think just attack or something, where it's like a special attack where you can get somebody in and they'll do what feels like a special. So all in all, I am really I'm very interested into it. Interested in it. So we'll see. We shall see. Then keeping that demo train going. Choo choo. Also played Wario Ware Get it. I gotta do it. Played Wario Ware Get It Together. So basically, this is I think the first Wario game for the Nintendo Switch. I'm at least familiar with the Wario games. I've never played them. I've maybe dabbled with a Wario game here and there, but I've never actually owned and played one. And I get I got the general concept, at least from what I've seen from gameplays and stuff. But essentially, it feels like just a onslaught of quick mini games and being able to react and do whatever is requested of the mini games. But generally, the mini games vary in terms of like zaniness. Like generally most of all of them are very quirky and weird and kooky, which is pretty cool. At least from what I played with this demo, it seemed like a slight letdown in terms of like what I was familiar with from the other Wario Ware games, where they don't seem to be as kooky and like weird as I was hoping them to be. But I guess maybe they topped themselves at some point with some of the other games. But then again, maybe they're possibly because it's a demo, maybe saving some of the really good games for the main game, which I could totally understand. And that may be another factor too. I'm assuming like there was a lot of the same game mini games, but I'm pretty certain that that'll be changed with the main game. That'll be obviously more to choose from. At least character wise, there's like six characters they let you play with. Each has their own strengths and weaknesses. Like one character is a UFO. They fly a UFO and then they can grab weapons and like a UFO abduction, that we've pop culture wise we've all come to know was a factor. And what else there's a character that she has to jump. She keeps jumping and you can't like stop her from jumping, so that's kind of a mechanic you have to fight in it potentially in some games, and some mini games that's actually a strength for her. So that's kind of a fascinating aspect to kind of come into play with. Wario just uses his jetpack and that's it. There's one character who's like it seems like he's disabled to some extent, at least from a mobility standpoint. He can only navigate and move by using a chain that actually like picks up or interacts with stuff, which is again pretty interesting. And again, there's like strengths and weaknesses to that depending on whatever mini game you're playing. So all in all, I'm definitely digging it. I'm not sure if I would immediately get it, but maybe potentially if it's low enough, I might dabble with it. Did have an option for 2 players. I thought generally WarioWare always had like a party option or 4-player option, kind of like in the essence of Mario Party, but like kind of like I always thought it was like there was like some type of bop it mode, like whoever lose, or something like that. I don't know. That would be cool though. I feel like that's been a mode in one of the previous WarioWare games, I think. So I think I maybe saw a gameplay of it that I'm not fully vividly remembering at least. So all in all, WarioWare. Get it together. Then of course, because my hype cannot be contained. I mean, you guys can't see it. I'm not the most enthusiastic person expressively, but internally, hype could not contain for No More Heroes 3. So due to that, I was like, you know what? I gotta play some more No More Heroes. Acting like I haven't played and beat the PC versions a couple episodes. A month or so ago, I want to say. But I couldn't. So replayed No More Heroes 1 on bitter mode. That's the hardest mode. It didn't actually, well, as somebody who's played the game multiple times, it wasn't that hard. What was hard was the last boss, the hidden boss, Henry. But after, figuring him out and playing and beating his ass, then I figured it out. I was like, okay, I'm good. Then I play a little bit of No More Heroes 2. I doubt I'll be able to beat it before it drops tonight. No More Heroes 3, but probably get a quick little recap refresher. I'm not sure if I really want to play Travis Strikes again. I was not the biggest fan of that game. I like the story the most, but the gameplay definitely lagged. So, but yeah, played that, and yeah, that's pretty much all of what I've been playing. So, as far as what I've been watching was actually Marvel's What If. The latest episode dropped, and man, this episode is a doozy. So basically, I'm spoilers for this episode. What is it called? What if all the Marvel's Avengers were perished or killed? Essentially, I forgot the actual name of the episode, but basically, the plot of this episode is what if Earth's mightiest heroes were defeated. Maybe that actually was the title, but either way, basically this is the what if scenario if the Avengers, the original Avengers we see in the movie, the 2012 movie, were defeated before actually becoming the Avengers. So basically, it becomes the vibe of this episode is a very like weird thriller kind of vibe with a little bit of like kind of a little slight horror, because it's like I think maybe your expectations being tempered for like this is a Disney, this is Marvel with Disney, and nothing crazy about to happen right now, but some kids might cry if you if you show them this movie, this episode. But yeah, so basically it starts off as they get in touch with Iron Man, I think, kind of basically retreading some of the plots before two, either one or two, and then basically at a point where they give him a shot to heal his I forgot what condition he had with I guess I'm assuming a shrapnel that got put in his chest, but basically he dies from that shot he got, and then people are suspecting that as Natasha Romanoff that killed him, who was there, but basically through the whole plot, like the Avengers are getting dropped like crazy. Thor gets killed with a bow and arrow from Hawkeye, who claimed he didn't do it. Hawkeye, who's locked up, gets killed randomly. He just dead. And then what's his name? The Hulk just bloats up, and it feels like spontaneously combusts, and that shit felt a little graphic, to be honest. Like, whoa, this is a Marvel episode. This is Disney. I was like, oh damn, they taking some risks. Yeah. So if Little Billy is a big Hulk fan, Little Billy that's like 2 is love the Hulk. I don't think you want to show him this episode. Little Billy might get a little scarred, might get a little upset. So yeah, so you have that, and then I think Widow, gets done for, and then Loki comes for vengeance for Thor getting killed, and essentially towards the end, we actually find out Widow actually gave a hint, like hope, something like there's hope, or something like that. I forgot what the quote unquote actual phrase was, but basically a hint at something about Hope. So he then goes to the grave for Hope Van Dyne, I believe, who was the Wasp. I guess in this storyline she died, adjacent to like Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then who do you know comes out of nowhere? I think Hank Pym, who's not Paul Rudd's character, but I forgot the dude. What is his name? Not Esposito. Who plays? It's gonna drive me crazy. Who plays Hank Pym in Ant-Man? Michael Douglas. Yeah, Michael Douglas. His character, at least they definitely, I'm not sure if it's the same voice actor, but it definitely sounds a lot like him. I think that's for a lot of the characters. They weren't actually the, you know, Robert Downey Jr. and they got some like Samuel Jackson was in it and a couple others, but at least not everybody made a return. But yeah, so we find out that it was actually I didn't even see it coming. I was like, who could it be? It was actually Ant-Man, who's like, I guess, spiteful on a vengeance for, I guess, blaming Fury for getting Hope Van Dyne killed, because I guess before Black Widow, Hope was, you know, Nick Fury's right-hand woman in a lot of scenarios. But yeah, so basically they replayed everything and showed how everybody got killed by Ant-Man. So Ant-Man apparently was in the shot. He you know, minimized himself and I guess just ruptured an artery in Iron Man and killed him. And then for Ant-Man, for Thor, he you know, hit Thor's fingers or something to make him release the arrow and kill Thor with the arrow. And then I guess Hawkeye, when he was in you know, in lockup for, you know, supposedly killing Thor, I guess it seemed like Hank just went in his head and just, I don't know, just cut his brain or something like that, and then he's dead. And then yeah, for the Hulk, which is like probably the most fucking graphic thing I think we've seen for something that's like Marvel. Yeah, even I'd say even worse than like Falcon and Winter Soldier, secret agent killing the dude with the shield. We didn't even see it, if anything. But man, so apparently Ant-Man threw a disc in at Hulk's heart, which I guess pumped the blood and made him blow up, and you know, ultimately blow up and, you know, balloon. And to be honest, that reminded me of some like Mortal Kombat stuff, like this pure Mortal Kombat 2 mess. It was some fatality that did that. I think Melina's kiss, that if when she kissed you, you blew up and then blow up. It was like, damn, that's pretty up there for you know, just being a graphic death. But I mean, they got the point across. I mean, that he had a vengeance, he had a mission, and he definitely seemingly accomplished. So, but yeah, they eventually, you know, thwarted him. Nick Fury teaming up with Hulk, or Loki, I mean, and thwarting his ass, and you know, ultimately locking his ass up for, well, I mean, they should have, to be honest, give him death row for that. That's killed Avengers. Ant-Man of all people. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I was like, yeah, because they showed somebody fighting, some force fighting with Black Widow, and that's where, you know, obviously you should have picked it up. But I am in my head, I'm like, who could it be? Sure enough. So well done episode. Very very messed up, but I appreciate it either way. Just get a nice little angle and everything. So then on top of that, after that, I guess technically before, but Walking Dead, baby, come back. The start of the final season of The Walking Dead, which they won't like milk as much as possible. They won't do that. They won't milk as much as possible doing multiple breaks within seasons. I don't think. That's pretty much what they probably think they're doing. But either way, the start of the final season, part 1, I'm guessing, is it was pretty good. I liked a fair amount of aspects to it. I don't know how to describe it. Negan is a bitch. Let's just say that. So spoilers for The Walking Dead. Nothing too spoilery necessarily, but at least in this episode, I guess the biggest highlight was basically they're trying to get out and escape, or I think maybe find a place to scavenge some food. They went in this trailer or underground railroad area, and basically there's some conflict between Negan and Maggie, who's finally come back, after, of course, if you watch season 6 of Walking Dead, you'll know what happened. I think a lot of people left after season 6, to be honest, but so there's basically conflict, animosity between Maggie and Negan, understandably so, because of what happened in season 6. So basically there was some suspicion that Maggie is trying to kill Negan, for events that have happened. Some interesting dynamics come into play, but then towards the end, where they're in a situation where they have to escape, and of course, what do you know, Negan's put in a position where he needs to save Maggie to get out, and then of course, what do you know happens? Negan basically, I think he intentionally just knocks her down to get basically killed by the walkers, at least as far as we know. So who knows, a Glenn could be pulled. You'll know what I'm talking about, the Glenn dumpster, which I'm pretty certain is gonna happen. I'd be surprised if it does, but yeah. So either way, then Maggie and Negan, no, that was the end of the episode, but I was thinking of the trailer for the next episode. It seems like shit's about to hit the fan. Somebody that they actually trust, that of course was an enemy, now they were starting to trust to some extent, is now not really redeeming himself at all, all things considered, because obviously you think he has to show that he's good now or done good, and did not happen. So yeah, very interested to see what happens. So Negan, you son of a bitch, we cue the what was it, damn it, you know what, let me pull it up, because it's relevant enough. I gotta do it. It's only necessary. I got to.
I don't have a bad attitude. Maybe I am angry inside. I've been through stuff, so I'm angry. Yeah, but this is not be okay, quiet. But everybody else. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me.
Oh man.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
Okay, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. It drew out, but that's all I wanted. So yeah. So it's, Negan is the villain you hate but like at the same time, and then that part that it's like, man, I do like him, that you want to see get redeemed at least. Yeah, not looking too good for you, Negan. You put yourself in a very, very weird box. So, but yeah, so pretty decent premiere episode. I mean, I know a lot of people have fallen off of Walking Dead, understandably so. Part of me just now that I know it's ending for sure, just wants to see what happens, and how to actually end it, quote unquote. Not factoring in the various spin-offs and movies that are in the works, but yeah, so cool. all in all, think that'll do it for this episode of Switch Sites. So, if you did like and enjoy the podcast, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your various podcasting and or viewing platforms. You can catch me record this podcast live on Twitch TV/aswitch. You can also catch the archive of this podcast on video on youtube.com/aswitch as well. But yeah, until next time, y'all, I got the place was no more heroes. So yeah, until next time, guys, get your game on. Oh yeah. Nobody's safe.